He was my childhood best friend, until he betrayed me. I grew up in a small town outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. The kind of place where everybody knows everybody, and your childhood friends feel more like family. That's where I met Tyler. He moved into the house across the street when we were both 7. I still remember the U-Haul truck, the red bike he left leaning on the sidewalk, and how he walked right up to me while I was playing with Hot Wheels and said, "Want a race?" From that moment on, we were inseparable. Same elementary school, same soccer team, same sleepovers, sometimes 4 nights in a row. Our moms became friends. His dad even built me a treehouse in their backyard. We were those kids people joked would end up being best men at each other's weddings, and for a long time I thought we would. High school came, and Tyler started changing. Nothing dramatic at first, just little things. He started hanging with guys who thought vaping behind the gym was cool. He ditched soccer and joined the wrestling team. He stopped coming over as often, but when we did hang out, it was like old times. Or so I told myself. Looking back, I think I knew we were drifting, but I didn't want to admit it, because I didn't have other friends. Tyler was it. I was quieter, more academic. Not exactly prom king material. He, on the other hand, had charisma. Girls liked him. Teachers let him slide. He could talk his way out of anything. And somehow I felt lucky just to be in his orbit. Then came senior year. That's when it happened. The betrayal. There was this girl, Cassie. She transferred to our school that fall and sat behind me in AP English. She was smart, sarcastic, and just awkward enough to not care what the popular kids thought. We bonded over obscure books and shared playlists. I fell hard. The kind of quiet, slow-motion falling where every interaction feels like a scene from a movie. We never dated, but we got close. Long phone calls. Late-night texts. She told me things she hadn't told anyone. Said I made her feel safe. I wanted to ask her out. I planned to, but I kept chickening out. Then one day Tyler asked me, "You and Cassie, what's the deal?" I laughed nervously. "Nothing official. I'm working up to it." He nodded. He knew how I felt. He promised he wouldn't do anything. 2 weeks later, I opened Snapchat and saw a photo of the two of them kissing at a party. At his house, at the treehouse. I stared at that image for what felt like an hour. I didn't cry. Not then. I just felt this strange quiet vacuum inside me. Like all the air had been sucked out of something I didn't even realize could collapse. I confronted him the next day. We met behind the school gym. Same place we used to sneak soda cans and talk about life. I showed him the photo. He didn't deny it. "Look, man," he said. "I didn't think you were gonna make a move. She's not your property." I said nothing. "Besides," he added, "she came onto me." He smirked. Like it was a joke. That's when I realized. This wasn't some misunderstanding. This wasn't an accident. This was intentional. Tyler had waited, watched me fall for her, let me confide in him, then stabbed me in the back the moment it benefited him. I walked away. No yelling, no punching, just silence. That night I blocked him on everything, and for a while, that was it. But I had no idea how far it would go. Blocking Tyler felt like tearing off a bandage that had been stuck too long. It hurt, but it was also relief. Still, we went to the same school, same hallways, same cafeteria. He didn't try to apologize, didn't even try to explain himself again. He acted like I was the one who'd overreacted, like I was being childish. And Cassie? She never messaged me again. A part of me hoped she didn't know how I felt. Maybe Tyler lied to her too. Maybe she wasn't trying to hurt me. But another part of me, the louder part, said, she knew. She just didn't care. Things didn't go back to normal. Not even close. Tyler started spreading rumors. Subtle things, not outright lies, just twisted versions of the truth. Like how I was obsessed with Cassie. Or how I followed her around like a puppy. He made me sound like a creep, like some kind of stalker. At first, people laughed it off. But then came the looks. Whispers in class. Jokes I wasn't in on. I confronted Cassie once in the parking lot after school. "I don't know what you've heard," I said. "But I never meant to make you uncomfortable." She just shrugged. "I think it's best we don't talk." That hurt more than anything. I wasn't angry. I was ashamed for thinking I mattered to either of them. The worst part? Tyler thrived in the aftermath. He used it. Built social capital out of the wreckage. Every week it felt like he had a new story about me. And I became the weird kid. The one who couldn't take a hint. The one who got too attached. But I wasn't angry. Not yet. I was still trying to survive. Until college acceptance letters came. Tyler and I both got into the same university, North Carolina State. Not because we planned it, but because it was close and affordable. We both enrolled. I seriously considered deferring, but I didn't want him to chase me out of another part of my life. I told myself I'd avoid him. It's a big campus. How bad could it be? First week of classes, I joined a film club. I'd always liked editing, writing short scripts, that kind of thing. I met a few decent people, even started smiling again, until Tyler walked in. Same room, same damn club. He acted surprised to see me. "Whoa, you here too?" I nodded and walked away. I thought, fine. We're adults now. We can coexist. But Tyler had other plans. By week 3, he was infiltrating. He got close to people I liked, showed up at the same social events, joined a study group I was in despite never showing interest in our shared classes. I began to think he was doing it on purpose. Then one day, I heard him talking to a guy from our dorm, loud enough for me to hear. Yeah, back in high school he had this fixation on some girl. Went a little off the rails. He wanted me to hear it. He was still feeding the same lies, just to a new crowd. That was the turning point. I realized this wasn't just a friendship that fell apart. This was deliberate sabotage. And I'd had enough. I wish I could say I handled it maturely, that I kept my head down, focused on my studies, let karma handle it. But I didn't. I snapped. It was a Wednesday night. We were both at a party thrown by someone from the film club. I didn't even want to go, but I knew I had to stop hiding. Tyler saw me, gave me that same fake smile. "Hey man, didn't think you'd show." I ignored him and walked to the kitchen, but I could feel his presence the whole night, circling the room like a vulture waiting to stir up something. Then I saw him talking to this girl I had just started seeing, Emily. Not seriously, just a couple of study dates and coffee, but enough that would text every day. I saw the way he leaned in, touched her arm when he laughed. Same moves I'd watched him use on Cassie. I lost it, walked straight up, looked him dead in the eye and said, "Are you seriously doing this again?" The room quieted. He laughed. "Do what? You don't own her." And that's when I said it, loud, clear, cold. "You're a sociopath, Tyler. You can't stand not being the center of attention. You destroy anyone who makes you feel small and then you laugh about it." He blinked. "Whoa, someone's still got issues." "No," I said. "I finally don't." I turned to Emily. He did the same thing to me in high school. Lied. Manipulated. Slept with a girl he knew I liked. Then told everyone I was unstable. There was a pause. People looked at him, looked at me, and for once, no one laughed. I left the party, not because I was embarrassed, but because I didn't need to see what came next. I'd planted the seed. Over the next few weeks, things started shifting. People started keeping their distance from Tyler. Not openly, but subtly. A joke he told would land flat. Someone would cut off a story he tried to spin. Girls he used to charm suddenly weren't interested. The truth, even a little, had started leaking. He tried talking to me again a few times. "You happy now?" I ignored him. "You know you looked pathetic, right?" Still ignored. "They're gonna turn on you next." But they didn't, because I never played dirty. I just finally told the truth, and that was enough. I focused on film club, made friends on my own terms. Emily and I didn't work out, but she never went near Tyler again. One day, someone from our dorm asked me, "Were you two like brothers or something?" I smiled. "No, just a guy I used to know." College went on, and slowly, I began to rebuild myself without Tyler hanging over my head like a dark cloud. The social scars healed little by little, and I learned to trust again, though cautiously. One afternoon, as I was walking through campus, I ran into Cassie. She looked different, more mature, calmer. For a moment, I thought about everything that had happened between us. She stopped and looked at me hesitantly. "Hey," she said softly. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything." I nodded, surprised. "Thanks," I said honestly. "I guess some things just take time." We parted ways. No bitterness, no drama, just a quiet understanding. Meanwhile, Tyler kept trying to maintain his reputation, but cracks started to show. People who once admired him began questioning his sincerity. I wasn't part of that world anymore, but I heard rumors from friends that he was losing friends, trust, and even opportunities. It wasn't about revenge for me. It was about survival. Looking back now, I see how those painful years shaped me. I learned that friendship is fragile, but self-respect is not negotiable. I learned to stand up not with violence or insults, but with truth. I'm not proud of every moment, but I am proud of not letting bitterness consume. So, here I am, years later, working in film, telling stories that matter. And sometimes, when I'm asked about my high school best friend, I simply say, "He was my brother once," but sometimes, brothers turn into strangers. If you like this video, please subscribe for more.